Hey guys.
Hey guys, good afternoon.
Good
It's
afternoon.
Tuesday and it's Table Talk.
Table
Talk. It is Tuesday, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Anybody who
Patty's
celebrates that and hope everybody's having a blessed day. Today we have several things that we want to talk about. And just starting off right at the top is a tape, I don't know, leak tape that Ray J has out, and it's with him being interviewed. It almost sounds like DJ Vlad, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you watch Vlad TV or whatever, you know that DJ Vlad does interviews with a lot of people in the hip hop game and some celebs, mini celebs, and that type of thing. But it does actually sound like him because they only have the audio.
Right.
And you know what? This tells you everything about Ray J that you thought you knew. I really thought about this when I was working out today. And what do you have to say about it?
Ray J, this is what I got from him totally was that he doesn't mind saying he has a girlfriend, but being in a relationship makes him feel tied down. So he much rather, I'll sleep with this one, I'll talk to this one, and I'll take this one out.
But you're missing the main point. The interview is about him and Whitney Houston. And go ahead with that.
That it was weird. It was weird to me how he was speaking of her and how him and her had sexual relations and he was messing with her mind and he can manipulate her to do certain things and it was off to me. I didn't really believe it.
And at the same time, he was saying that he was messing around with Kim Kardashian too. So this was obviously something that happened some time ago. And it seemed to me that it was Whitney at her most vulnerable. Yeah. He said he didn't want to try to be with her per se because he said that she was yearning for things like him and different things like that, which maybe is true, maybe is false. I don't know. If somebody is getting high and stuff, I don't know how much in their right mind they are. Honestly, I just really don't know. But he talked about how he could use her and manipulate her any way he want to, and how if he told her to stop using drugs, she would stop him or whatever. I'm just not believing that. First of all, if she was using drugs, you was using them with her. Because why would she want to hang around with you and you were a holier than thou Christian boy? That don't make no sense to me. Not to say that you wasn't, but I'm saying if she was getting high, you was getting high. Right. He talked about how he didn't mind being around her. Said she wasn't like being with a Mariah Carey in the sense that somebody you would, I guess, physically desire because of her age maybe or her habits. I don't know. But he said that being around her gave him opportunity to shake a lot of new hands, like get the hookup. But this in the end tells me this about Ray J. If I ever thought it or whatever, is Ray J is a coattail rider.
Very much so. I totally agree. I mean, every 5 minutes you find him doing something or copying off of somebody, be it a song or reality show or whatever.
And it used to be hanging on to Brandy. And Brandy grew up and she became a woman and she got on with her life and she continues to do, and she works and she has a child and on and on and on. So that would cause an automatic distance from him because he still wants to be a fuckboy, if you ask me, a party, good time Charlie type of person. And that's funny how families will have kids like that. You got one that's trying to do right, and then you got one that wants everything to come to them easy. Everything should be handed to them. They should not have to really put in the amount of work or whatever. So my sister or my brother got a big name. Let me catch on to their coattails, but never broke through in terms of celebrity or fame or whatever on their own. And to turn around and say with no shame that you were able to use her, use Kim, use whoever, and not ever try to stand up and be a fucking man and say, "Nah, girl, turn this camera off. We're not going to do this." Or, "No, Whitney, I'm not going to get you anything else, any other substances. If you like that and you don't want to take a time out today, then I'm going to go home." But not thinking as how you could use them or what have you. And he says that actually towards the end, he says that he would continue or does continue to do that. Obviously not with those two. One has
Right.
deceased, God rest her soul, and the other one is married. But that doesn't mean that other people that you see him with or whatever, that he's not. You look at some of these girls are loving hip hop Hollywood. They was all talking about they went with him this many years or that many
Right.
years or whatever, and yet we've seen him in what was it, Love and Ray J, or some kind of
Yeah.
dating show and
Mm.
all that kind of mess. So
For the love of Ray J.
For the Love of Ray J. If he was so into this one or that one, it wouldn't be no For the Love of Ray J.
Right.
Unfortunately, he's one of those sad, almost Hollywood stories. I'm gonna say almost because he's never made it. He's never accomplished anything. I don't know of any goals that he has or anything he's put into the community.
Mm-hmm.
He's off. He's all about the money, 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 and material things. But that's an empty life, if you ask me. Because what's going to happen when you get 50 or 60?
You won't have anything to hold on to. Nothing to have. No kind of legacy or anything.
Nothing. Speaking of Whitney,
right, and drug abuse, Nick Gordon.
Baby, did you see Nick Gordon act a straight fool? And this is weird. We saw a picture of him, right? Somebody had put it up, and it was we just were looking at the picture. And he looked like a demon. And I am not kidding. His eyes were black as midnight. They had no life in them. You could tell by his smirk. It was a smirk on his face that he was just when he was talking to Dr. Phil. But it was a still picture. That he was thinking he was getting over, or he was outsmarting him or whatever. But if he think he used them, that baby, they used you. Really? Because they got those sweeps, those extra ratings. And what did he talk about? Not a goddamn thing.
No, nothing. It was ridiculous. He was running around crazy. Well, first, before they even did the interview, they filmed him totally high. Mm-hmm. He said he was taking Xanax and drinking, and he was rolling on the ground and screaming out and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm. And it's one thing I can't stand, and that is the truth. When you are weeping, supposedly, weeping and in dreadful pain, and I miss Bobby Christina and all that old craziness, but not a tear is rolling out your eye.
Not one.
Ain't nobody got that drunk or high where they don't have tears. And oftentimes you get drunk, you get emotional. So I don't even know if he was drunk or high. I think he was putting on a good act.
Right.
I think they meaning Dr. Phil, sucked the life out of it, but he made a fool of himself. Mm-hmm. And where did his mama come from? Where's she been?
Right, that's what I want to know. I didn't really understand the story of how he went from being kicked out of his mama's house to being with Whitney. Something was missing in that story.
Right. And then nobody is saying, why did he get kicked out of the house? Right. Was he using drugs? Was he molesting the other kids? Was he stealing money out your purse? Was he trying to swing and hit and fight? I don't know. But anybody getting kicked out of the house, it's not for good reasons. Okay, right. We're not kicking you out to your dorm in college. I can guarantee you that. But he supposedly stayed over there with Whitney and Bobby, which he did. Do I think him and Bobby Christina had something going on behind Whitney back? Mm-hmm. Because Whitney was in and out of rehab, and she wasn't sharp and on top of her game. And Bobby Christina was like one of these overindulged kids that could tell their mother to get out their room. Get out my room, Mom. And Mom would. But ain't no way. I'm telling you right now, I got 4 daughters, and I've never had some schoolmate, girl or boy, come and stay here with them for any reason. My job was to be getting you home, and I don't understand why his mom wasn't trying to get him home. In fact, she lives in Florida. She doesn't even live there anymore. Nope. So he was up there talking about he was trying to commit suicide, calls his little brother, and then tells the little brother, don't tell her. Which is exactly what he's going to do.
Just tell.
Right, because that's what he wanted. People that commit suicide, a.k.a. Robin Williams, they do it in the night. They do it silently. You just wake up and you see the shock of your lifetime.
Exactly.
So he's full of shit.
Really?
I hope that he is really in rehab, and if he gets the help, the detoxing, that'd be great. But he really needs more psychological help. That boy is disturbed, and I would be afraid to have him around my daughter because I don't know what he would do. Right. Honestly, if he had did something to her, what he would do to keep her shut up from telling anybody. He might trip over the plug or something, child. Unplug or something.
No. Okay. We hear about a grandmother that cuts her grandchild's head off because it was crying. I don't get it. First, let me say I'm sick of hearing these killing baby stories. Please do not have kids if you do not have the patience for them. We know that when babies are first born, they're going to be crying. They're going to be very colicky. Please don't have children if you can't handle it.
Mm-hmm. And if mama, grandma is too overwhelmed with this, that, and the third, she on medicines or she got little appointments to keep or whatever, don't ask her to babysit.
Right.
What happened was the baby was crying, I guess, incessantly. I don't know. I don't know how much is too much crying. I don't know. Because I've had kids with colic and I've had them not. So I don't know. But anyway, she was supposedly crying a lot. And the grandma took a sock and stuffed it in the baby's mouth. Therefore, the autopsy showed that the baby was suffocated first. Baby. Then she took a knife or a chainsaw or something and went through that baby's throat.
Horrendous when I heard the story. It was absolutely disgusting. Like, what were you thinking? What were you thinking?
Let me just say, I know this sounds harsh, but I'm glad it wasn't nobody, no black folks. Okay? Let me just say that. This was in Chicago that we call Chirac. Yeah. Chirac. And as in Chicago, Iraq. Yeah. But anyways, this was heinous. It was gruesome for the people that discovered it. They haven't said anything about the parents at all. They haven't appeared in the court or hearings or arraignments or anything, but I would be beyond devastation with my mother.
Right.
I'd probably feel guilt for myself, because I don't know where they at work. It's a lot of holes in this story in terms of where were the parents, were they at work, were they out for the night, how long had the baby been crying, how long has she been babysitting, why didn't she call another sister, the auntie of the baby. Or a girlfriend, or put the baby in a fucking stroller and go for a walk, or if it was cold, bundle it up and carry it outside a little bit and shake. Or I used to we used to put our kids in the car seat and take it for a ride. Now, in retrospect, maybe she thinks of all those things, but I can only think of all those options that you could have had. Right. You could have checked a diaper. Maybe the baby needed another bottle. Maybe sometimes you start giving kids bottle, and this kid was 7 months. This kid was 7 months old. Maybe he needed a little something on his stomach. I know a lot of people don't want to give kids food that early, but I've had some that need a little cereal to hold them, and that's what I would give you too. I just didn't load them up with no jumbo bowl of cereal, but I did that as well. But there was other alternatives. But it's a very sad story. It's hard to not make a judgment on it, but all I could do is God bless the whole family on that.
Really, I just have to pray on them. Hope that everything gets better. But we hear in Illinois that there was a meth lab in Walmart. They said it was a live.
Yeah, you read about that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. They found the meth lab, like I said, in Illinois, and it was in the men's bathroom, and they said it was active. It was in a backpack sitting on in the corner of the floor. Okay, now this is what I can't wrap my head around, and I know we've discussed this before. How do you have an active meth lab in the bathroom? And I'm only asking that because when we used to live in California, and she was a baby. She wasn't a baby. She was maybe 15, 16, maybe 2 years old, something like that, 15, 16 months or 2 years old. Anyways, we lived in this apartment complex upstairs, but across the hall used to have been an Asian man and a very nice man, and he passed. And some other young folks rented it, and they always kept to themselves and whatnot. But after a while, after a few months, the girls would be coming back and forth to school or whatnot, or I have the kitchen window open, and I'm always smelling rotten eggs. Like, what is that? I thought it was in the sink. I really did, in the drain. So I would put bleach and down there or Drano or whatever, because this must be coming from the sink. Then I thought it was the sewer line smelling, Anyways, here we are one night in the middle of the night, and we're in the bed, and somebody starts beating on our door, like the po-po beating. And my husband and I, we jumped up, looked out the peephole. We could peek and see a little bit out the kitchen window.
and was some big old dude that we did not know. And he was looking for the people next door. And somehow we knew that we were looking for drugs. It had to be. That's the only thing that we figured out. And so they must have cracked the door or opened up the kitchen window, and they proceeded to argue loudly in the middle of the night. We called the cops. And the cops, they finally came and stuff. And they didn't come to our door. They went over, to see what happened. They went to the door across the way because right away, what did they smell?
Meth.
No, not meth. They smell meth. They smelled rotten eggs.
Yeah.
And they proceeded to, I guess they called and got a warrant. Well, I don't think you would even need a warrant when it's suspected drug trafficking because they got up in that house, baby. Next thing you know, it was all crazy. Police and detectives were coming. They finally came to our door to ask us what we knew. They had followed our daughters to school. They used to catch the school bus. Followed them to the school bus to ask them what did they know. As if they had been using drugs and we wouldn't have known, but they've known. And they were, scared or whatever, didn't have the right answers or whatever. But ended up where they had some kids over there. They didn't have no furniture in there. They had some like canisters of whatever they burn. What is it they burn? I forgot. Propane and stuff. Propane ovens and this and that in there. And they asked us will we watch the kids. It was 2 little kids. And they said that they had enough in there to blow up our complex. Like the buildings are divided into 8 units. 8 here and 8 here. To blow up at least the next 2. And we were like, oh my God, that could have happened. And we had no idea. So I'm saying all that to say, how could you have a meth lab in a backpack?
That's what it says in the story. Was they like divulge into how, why, what for? They just said it was in a backpack in the men's bathroom, and they called somebody out. They called the authorities, and they had to get all suited up and put their little gas masks on and all that.
That's how they have to do.
To take it apart.
That's the hazmat team. They have to go in white and the mask on and the whole thing. So yeah, if the hazmat team came out handling it, it was meth. Wow.
Crazy. Okay.
That's got to be somebody work there though.
Right. So because even think about it, it's in the backpack, so they're going back to come back.
Yes, they're coming back to get it. They're not out there just shopping around. I wouldn't imagine.
Left your backpack on accident.
Right. And it must have been up in a corner somewhere.
Yeah, it was.
Thinking that nobody was going to find it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dirty low down.
So this week, Kendrick Lamar album, "Pimp a Butterfly," dropped.
Yeah, it sure did. They say it was leaked. Some say it was dropped. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to it, and maybe you should. I'm a really fan of Kendrick Lamar. I love his music, his creativity, his beats. So I've gotten to hear a little bit of it. I want to continue to listen to it. So far, what I've heard, I really like. Kendrick Lamar, I like him because his music is really, it's soulful, it's deep, it's creative. It's like something you haven't heard before. It's hypnotic.
Yeah.
It's all that. And I really enjoyed it. So I want to really get into that more. Now they say that Drake album, if you're reading this, it's too late.
Yeah.
Now that did, I think in the first week, 500K in the first week. So they predicted big numbers like that for Kendrick Lamar too. So hopefully that'll come to fruition because the sales of albums in music in general, just music in general, is down.
Very much so.
And we got, country, they want to be pop, and pop, they want to rap, and it's real confusing and crazy. And yeah, you may not like categories and all that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, you like what you like. So don't give me something whack and tell me that's rap or this is rap, but you calling it pop.
Right.
I'm not going for it. But Kendrick Lamar is not that person.
No, he's not. And I do agree with the album sales, especially now where you can go on iTunes and you don't have to leave the house or order online to get no album. You can just go right there on iTunes, get your whatever, or I know some folks do it illegally and go ahead and get it or whatever.
But they also do it on YouTube. I got a chance to listen to some on YouTube, but now they have it black private. But as soon as I heard it, thank you, DJ Academics. I was able to listen to it immediately. I
Right.
didn't even finish watching his show. I wanted to hear what it sounded like. And that was Monday. Yeah, because
Yep.
it would have dropped Sunday night, Monday morning. So I got a chance to peep it right away. But you still could, like, they have Empire out there, which is supposed to be at the top of the charts now. Their soundtrack album, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But I was able to download just about everything. So I don't know why. Sometimes you can get on YouTube, and then sometimes you can't. So I don't know what that's about. YouTube, make up your mind,
please. Yeah, that's crazy.
And I definitely understand that these artists, this is their work, and they feel and deserve to be paid for their work.
Right.
Not like this Robin Thicke, Pharrell Williams bullshit.
We taken from people.
Right, taken from people, and now you and got crazy and talking about this come from your heart and soul and all that shit. That come from you got to give it up. But and sorry that you guys are, some of you are young and you don't know that it's the same song. But right. I remember when that song hit the airwaves and we were at the house parties getting down and stuff, and we just wore that out and we loved it. So
and no joke, last night they had it on the radio. As soon as it came on,
I thought it was Marvin Gaye. Got to give it up, Marvin Gaye.
No, until Robin Thicke started singing.
So that was crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so we're pretty sure that we talked about the McDonald's beatdown and what went on with that. Was that in Chicago?
No, that was in New York. But I just wanted to add to it that just getting some additional information, come to find out, these chicks this is all gang related. They had a beef going on back and forth with each other anyways, and it just so happened that they caught the one chick up, and all the other chicks jumped her. That's why she didn't go down, because if you in that gang, you about that life, you don't go down that easily. So I wanted to put that out there, and also I just want to say I don't understand what this is all about. All these new these fights, and it's got to be on World Star, and everybody gotta look at it, and you know, and I'm talking about it, so I'm one of the everybody got to have a comment on it. But if we can make the comments so that some of this can stop, and you can say, well, you can say what you want, but that's not gonna stop it. But I know what I can do is I can check me, and I can check my anger level and my mentality, and make sure that I'm on the right path and I stay prayed up. Now, if I'm that person, obviously I'm going to pass it on to my daughters, and they're going to pass it on to their daughters, and that's how that goes. But it's got to start with us. We got to start wanting better or wanting more, and we just can't do it looking at this same old, same old. We used to be on the internet a lot more, and we've kind of cut down here lately.
Yeah.
Just kind of tired of these same old whack ass somebody got to tell beat story and all of that. Right. If that's your thing, okay, but get your mind to a higher place. Find something good. Talk about music. Talk about acting in a show. Whatever. If you want something a little bit juicier, some better tea you want to catch, talk about something like that Crazy Ray J tape. There's all kind of things out there in the world that you could talk about. Right. But we don't always have to talk about beating and kicking and whooping each other tail and stuff like that. Because it was a little girl. Where was they? In Ohio? That little white girl and her brother were outside playing at the park playing, and this group of black people ran up to her, these kids, and she said something like, I put 5 on it or something. But anyway, they knew it was going to be a fight, and that girl started beating and stomping her and everything. And there you have the little brother even jumping in trying to break it up. Right. We have to get over this. We have to get past this. So I've gone on and on, but I'm going to do a tape one day about issues in public schools, and we got to do better. We got to start right here, right now. I totally agree. Well, thanks guys so much for listening to us. If you like us, thumbs up, subscribe, leave us a comment. Thank you guys for your comments. You actually gave us comments. We are so happy about that, because we're always open to discuss anything. Always. You guys have a blessed afternoon. See ya. Bye.